Most people go through life exchanging their time for money, living paycheck to paycheck with little to show for it at the end of the day despite all their hard work, only to catch a break when they finally retire at the ripe old age of 65 or later, if they're lucky. Let me introduce you to Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, an American businessman, author, and financial commentator with an estimated net worth of $100 million. Despite his amassed fortune, Robert didn't come from a wealthy background. His immediate family were like most people who work, exchanging their time for money, but didn't have a proper financial education. His poor dad's philosophy was to go to school, get good grades, and a well-paying job. When he met his friend's dad, then his perspective on money changed. This was Robert's rich dad, who started mentoring him about how to become rich, laying the foundations of a strong financial education. These principles Robert now shares with us in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Let's get into the key takeaways. Takeaway number 1. Buy assets. I know it sounds simple, but there's a misconception among the working class as to what an asset actually is. In the book, Robert demonstrates that most people believe their home is their greatest asset, but argues it's actually a liability. To clarify, an asset is simply anything that puts money into your pocket, and a liability is anything that takes money out. If you had an investment property where a tenant provides you with a consistent cash flow, covering the bills, mortgage, maintenance, and also leaves you with a bit of cash afterwards, this would be considered an asset. If you own a home where you pay for the mortgage, the bills, the maintenance, this would be considered a liability. Typically, when the rich earn their income, they buy more income-producing assets, whereas the working class would earn their income and buy stuff like a TV, car, holiday, or put it into a savings account where it's earning negative interest. Takeaway number 2. The power of corporations. If you're from Ireland, you can basically skip this bit. In some places, the rich can leverage company structures to legally avoid, minimize, or defer tax payments. Consider a business that earns an income versus an employee that earns an income. The company will earn an income, spend, and then pay taxes, whereas the employee will earn an income, pay taxes, and then spend. The biggest household expense is taxes. Through corporations, the rich also artificially lower their tax bill using various tax rules. In fact, Warren Buffett is famous for paying less tax than his secretary. Takeaway number 3. Work to learn. Don't work for money. Poor Dad was intelligent and well-educated and worked for money because job security meant everything to him. Rich Dad became a millionaire by working to learn. Again, as Warren Buffett famously said, the more you learn, the more you earn, and the best investment you can make is in yourself. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. This is why famous people such as 50 Cent, with all his money, failed to manage it properly and declared bankruptcy in 2015 when he was in debt of $32.5 million. Personal finance is learnt at home, more so than in schools. Unfortunately, if your parents have a poor grasp on personal finance, then you'll have to seek it elsewhere. Fortunately, there's tons of resources online to help send you in the right direction. When getting a better grasp on financial literacy, there's 4 areas you should focus on: accounting, investing, economics, and law. Takeaway number 4. Mindset and behavior. Both dads worked hard, but they have opposing mindsets and behaviors. Poor Dad would say, study hard so you can find a good company to work for. Rich Dad would say, study hard so you can find a good company to buy. Poor Dad would say, the reason I'm not rich is because I have kids. Rich Dad would say, the reason I must be rich is because I have kids. Poor Dad would say, play it safe and don't take risks. Rich Dad would say, learn to manage your risk. Poor Dad would say, I can't afford that. Rich Dad would say, how can I afford that? The primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they manage fear. In our previous key takeaway video on the psychology of money by Morgan Housel, Morgan demonstrates that how well you do with money is not so much about what you know, but how you behave. If you can learn to keep your emotions under control and make more calculated decisions, you'll set yourself in the right direction. Finally, takeaway number 5. Concentrate to get rich, diversify to stay rich. It doesn't make sense to diversify your portfolio if you only have a small fortune relative to your potential future earning power. If you want to become rich, you need to focus. There's an old saying, don't put all your eggs in the one basket. Well, famous investor Joel Greenblatt once said, the strategy of putting all your eggs in one basket and watching that basket is less risky than you might think. Concentrating will have a larger impact on your wealth, but once you get to a point where you want to preserve that wealth, then you should consider diversifying. To summarize, 1. Buy assets. 2. The power of corporations. 3. Work to learn, don't work for money. 4. Mindset and behavior. 5. Concentrate to get rich and diversify to stay rich. If you enjoyed this summary, please be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and thanks for watching.